What is up, guys? So we've been using GitHub in almost all of our projects on here, if not all of them. So I figured today would be a great day to quickly take a minute, step back, and kind of go over some of the basics of GitHub and Git. Now, I'm not going to give you a whole backstory into that. There's tons of other videos that are out there that would do that, that already have done that, are still relevant, that you can go look at, that I think are great. But basically what I want to go over today is going to GitHub, creating a repository, cloning that repository to the local machine, and then making some changes, committing them, and pushing them back up. So that's really what I want to do. So let's go ahead and jump into this video. But before we jump into the video, if this helps you, I want you to make sure you hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you do like the content that I'm creating on this channel, head on over to my Patreon account at patreon.com/Zachary R. Newton, where you can help this channel and help me create better videos every week. Let's go ahead and jump into this video. Alright guys, I've already got GitHub up right here and I've already logged in, so if you haven't signed up or logged in yet, go ahead and do that. But once you get in, you'll see some repositories over here, so you can start a new one from here, but you can also go over to your repositories and you can see all of them here. So this is a new feature of, you can set a status. Okay, I don't really care. So I'm going to go ahead and click new here to create a new repository. So let's go ahead and let's give it a name. So I'm just going to do like YT tutorial. So I'm just going to give that the repository name right there. And for the description, we'll say this is just an example for YouTube. So you can choose to set this to either public or private. Now, one cool thing that I believe I mentioned this in another video a little while ago, Microsoft actually bought GitHub, if you didn't know. So they've been changing some things, some plans. So far, I haven't seen anything negative. And they've been working on adding some new features in here as well. So now with the free plans, you can have unlimited private repos. Before, I think it was limited to like, I want to say 3, but I can't remember. So anyways, I'll leave this as public. We don't need to make this private, and we can initialize the repository with a README if we want. I'm not really going to do that, but what we can do here is we can add a git ignore. So let's say we were going to do another project with Jekyll. We can come in here and start typing in Jekyll, and we can see right here they already have some predefined git ignores for Jekyll. So we'll use that, and then I'm not going to add a license here, but if you want to add one of these licenses, you can super easily. And that's really it. So let's go ahead and click create repository. And let's see. All right, so here we are. This is our repository, and you can see this is just an example for YouTube. That's the description that we gave it. We've got the git ignore file in here. That's the only thing in here. So this README file, all this is really going to do is allow you to have a place on the page to provide more context, maybe some instructions to anyone viewing your repository. So like it says here, help people interested in this repository understand your project by adding a README. So, I mean, if we want, we could go ahead and add a README. So, this is my README file. All right, that's all I'm going to do. We don't need to make this any more complicated, but basically, this whole README file is done in Markdown, but I think you can also do it in HTML. I can't remember exactly. Or maybe it's you can just convert the HTML beforehand to Markdown and then use Markdown. I can't remember. But anyways, this is the README file. And so I'm just going to go ahead and commit this. I'm not going to write anything here. But I'm going to commit directly to the master. I don't want to create a new branch. And I'm logged in with my account here, so we're not going to worry about anything else. Let's go ahead and commit new file. All right, so now you can see that it added this section beneath all the code here where you can actually view the README. So that's kind of cool. So anyways, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and get this project from GitHub down to the computer using Git. And we're going to use clone for that. So I'm not going to download it, but I mean, you could. But anyways, let's go ahead and copy that link right there. And we'll open up the terminal. So I'm going to cd into the desktop. And you'll see there's nothing here. And then we're going to write git clone and paste in that URL. And so this is just using Git. This isn't exclusive to GitHub, but like if you were using tools from other tools from Microsoft, like TSF or something that has repositories, or Bitbucket, this flow would be very similar. You're going to want to clone it down, and then before you push it back up, you'll add the files, commit them, and then push them. So anyways, let's go ahead and see. Right here we have the YouTube tutorial in the desktop now. So let's go ahead and let me just shrink this and pull the folder over. Where is it at? Right here. So here's the folder, and if we open it, you'll see a README. And yeah, we do have a git ignore in here, but it's hidden from the typical, finder here because it's got it's a dot and then whatever the type of file it is. There is no actual name for it, so they hide those types of files by default. You can undo that, but I'm not going to go into that here. So you can view the README file, but let's go ahead and let's make some changes here. So I'm going to open this up in Atom. And this is one of my favorite things with Atom. Atom is built by GitHub, so it works extremely well together. Although I've actually seen Atom work well with other Git services, like I mentioned, like other repositories. Some from TSF or something like that. I think I'm saying that right. But anyways, so we have these two files here. Let's go ahead and let's add one more file. So I'm just going to add an index.html. And now that I did that, you can see that this Atom updated the view over here. So you can see this file is now green because it's a new file. And let's go ahead and we'll write something like that. Let's just write a little bit of HTML if I can do that. Let's give this a quick little title. I'll say YT tutorial, and then we can just go ahead and write hello world in there. All right, so you can see, like I said before, this file is now green, so it means it's a new file. So we can push these changes to the repository or commit them in a couple ways. Well, a few ways actually. But if we open up the terminal, we'll cd into the project. So let's cd into YouTube tutorial. Now if you write git status, it's going to show you the status of those files. So see, it kind of shows you like that same view here. And basically the flow from here is going to be, we're going to add or git add whatever files we want to add to this commit. Then we'll commit them, and then we can push them if we want. So let's go ahead and write git add. So once you write this, what you have to do is you have to actually write in the name of every file you want to add, or if you want to add them all, you can just type in a period and click that. So now they've been added. So I'm going to write git status again. And now you can see that file is green. So it says changes to be committed. You can use git reset head and then the file to unstage them if you want, but we're not going to do that right now. So now we're going to commit this. So let's write git commit, and then we're going to write a message. So it's just -m, and then after that, in quotes, you're going to write your message. So I'm going to say, I added the index.html file. All right, and then go ahead and hit enter. So now you can see it added the index.html, or that's actually the commit that I just wrote, that message. I added the index.html. One file changed, 9 insertions, and that's all we got there. So I'm going to go ahead and well, before we push this, you'll see now this is updated in the background. This is no longer green. And then if you look down over here in this corner, you can see this is telling me that I have one push ready. So you can do this either in the terminal or you can do it within Atom, but we're going to do the terminal because everyone might not be using Atom. So from here, you can just go ahead and write git push. And now it's going to push this to GitHub. So if we go back to the repository on GitHub and pull it up, you can see you have 2 commits now. So I'm going to click on this, and we can see we have the initial commit, then we have the create readme, and then we have the I added the index.html file. So that's actually 3 commits now. I just didn't refresh the page. So if we go back here, you can see if you click on this, you'll see exactly what was added. So you'll see all the files, and then you'll see all the contents of that file. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to Atom again real quick, and I'll show you one other cool thing. We're actually going to make a change. So I'm going to change this from Hello World to, I don't know, let's do Hello Earth and save it. So now that we saved it, you'll see this is not green anymore. This is yellow because there's been a change. We haven't really added anything or removed anything, but we've changed something. So beneath that H1, let's go ahead and write an H2 and say, hello world H2. Okay, and then we'll save that. So we've had some changes here. So this file is going to be yellow now. If you add something, it's going to be yellow as well in Atom. But again, we're not going to go too far into this. But anyways, if we pull the terminal back up and write git status, you can see that we modified the index.html file. So let's go ahead and let's add that again. I'm going to commit it and write a quick message. I'm going to say modified H1 and added H2. So you're going to want to be fairly descriptive with like the messages you write, but you don't want them to be really long. So you want them to be short, but explain what you did. So this, ignore what I'm writing right here. This is just to give you an example. So anyways, now that I've committed it, you'll see the branch is ahead of the origin master if you type in git status by 1 commit. So use git push to publish your local commits. So I'm going to write git push. It's going to push that again. And if we hop back over to the web and go back to the code, you'll see now there's 4 commits. So pretty self-explanatory. You see how that works. You can see modified H1 and added H2. So if I click on that, it'll open up that file that was changed. If there was more than 1 file, you would see that. And then you can view this in 2 different views. You can view it in this unified view, or you can do it in the split view, which I actually prefer because you can kind of see the 2 different things side by side. I just think it's a little easier. But yeah, that's it. That's how you can see everything that's been changed right here. So that's really all you need to know to get started with GitHub and using the git command. Now to run these commands, you have to install the git command line tool, command tools or whatever it's called. You can look that up on the web. I'm not going to show you that in this video, but if you guys want, I can create a quick little video to show you guys how to do that. But anyways, that's it. That's how we can create a repository. We can clone it down to the local machine we're working on, make changes, commit those changes, and then push those changes. So I think that's a pretty good start on this. Maybe we'll work on some more things later. Alright guys, so we have successfully created a repository, added a readme, a git ignore, made some changes, cloned it to the local machine to work on it, added those changes, committed them, and pushed it back to the repository. So I think that's a good place to start. Those are really what we do in almost every YouTube video or series we have on this channel. So if you didn't already know how to do that, hopefully that helped you. I'm thinking about creating some other videos around this that maybe we go more in depth into certain areas, like maybe creating branches, or I don't know, just a bunch of other. There's so many tools that GitHub offers. It's really cool, and now that Microsoft owns them, they are working on many more things. Maybe we'll open up the GitHub desktop application and maybe learn a little bit of things about that there and how to use that, instead of going into the command line interface all the time here. So anyways, I hope this video helped you. If you have any comments or questions, let me know down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.